keyframes there, and that way when I adjust these and this is the only time I can see how you could do it, if you have to use the keyframes with this one. Hey there everybody, and welcome back to the Digital Paul Workshop. It is I, the sudden shake that breaks your cinematic flow, Techno Meow Tinkerer. And today we'll be covering some of the distort effects in Olive Video Editor. Now, if you watched some of my previous videos, you would have seen me use some of these effects, but we're going to go through all of them. So, without further ado, let's log on in. So I kind of already got something set up here. Hey, there's my backside. Y'all never get to see my backside, so I figure I'll show it to you. Well, let's zoom on in here a little bit. So most of the time when you come into Olive and you drag something down here in the timeline, you'll automatically get the transform video effect. And most of us, we kind of already know this. You can scale it, you can move it from side to side, and so forth. So let's just get this everything back to where it was. And you got your rotation, your anchor points, your opacity. So I can make it look ghostly if I wanted to. One of the more common ones we've seen, and we'll just go up here with this little, I guess would be like a window with, I'm not sure what they call it. It says add a video effect. And you just come on down here to distort. Now you have your bulge, your corner pin. We're going to do crop. Crop is one I tend to use a lot, and it's very straightforward. You can just grab this, and you're not going to see, well, you kind of see it now. Let's actually make sure matter of fact, well, I move myself out the way, and so I can enlarge. Let's see, I want to flip horizontally, and let's just dense on over here. That way I can kind of go ahead and enlarge this a little bit so we can kind of see what we're doing. Bring this on down, this on over. There we go. Now we can kind of see, because you can now see I'm half and half. And so the crop, let's see, you can do the top, the right, and then the bottom. And then you can do a feathering effect. I have not used it, but it gives you that slight vignette type thing where you can kind of see it a little bit here. And then you can also invert it, so where it's basically got to cut out. So instead of moving this layer up to here and then cropping it down, I'm just doing it just does the reverse. There is something I did learn. Let me close this right out so we can see. You can actually come in here, right click, and you can kind of save these settings. Now I have not saved any or load them back, but if there's one type of effect that you like using over and over, kind of like in my intro, I always use the black and white and the pixelated. I could probably eventually just go in and just do save file and just load it in on the clips, having to go in every time. And that's the way you can save the steps. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. I don't need this no more. Some of the other stuff you can do, whoops, don't need to transform. Come back up here, we'll go back to distort. Bulge. Bulge almost makes it looks like the fisheye. I have yet to figure out the full difference between the bulge and the fisheye. But you can see right now it's making me look like one of those characters off of One Piece. Kind of have that really big shoulders and very tiny waist, men. And then you can kind of adjust the amount you want. Yeah, something like maybe you would see in The Bad Guys or Despicable Me, or even Monsters vs. Aliens. And you can change for where you want the center of it. Up, down, left, right. Well, this gives you a little bit of free stuff. We'll delete that. Let's move on to the next. I don't really have to delete every one of them. I could just, when I go to do something like at the corner pin here, I can pull this over. I can always unclick it, and that'll take me back to the default. But yeah, the corner pin, so this is where you can kind of get, if you want to get that little fade. So like if I want to do, let's see if I can get it done. That's actually, let's see, top left, let's bring you on in. Top right, let's bring you on in. And now I kind of got that Star Trek feel not Star Trek. Well, all the Star Wars fans and Star Trek fans are going to get at me now. I mean Star Wars feel. Like, so if you have your text and you can actually now have it kind of moving up. So one thing I could probably see, let's say if I could bring in my outro, we could probably see it better. I'm going to unlink this. We'll do my outro. We'll do the pin effect. That way we can kind of see this. I probably should have been using the outro to begin with. So now one thing while we're doing this, you can actually copy this, and I can come over here and then I can just hit paste. And let's see, yes, add. Okay, it adds it in, and I have to actually do that. So now you can see it. I just copy and paste, so I don't have to retype everything, which is nice and made easier and would have helped me in the past a lot if I had known it at a time. But now if I hit the paste, so now you can see I got my little dancing at an angle. So let's go and get rid of this. Delete. I'm not going to need you for right now. Go ahead and delete this. Get back over here. And we're also going to delete this pin. We don't need you either. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Was there something else I needed under that one, or was that everything? It's got a thing called perspective. Let's see what that does. I have not played with that, so if I take the perspective off, okay, it just squishes the top. It don't. Okay, it's just squishing it. So, but if I did perspective, it keeps everything kind of like it's supposed to be stretched out, where this one just squishes everything. So that's what we know on that one. On the next one, let's go to distort. Already did crop. Fisheye. Like I said, fisheye and bulge are very similar in the thing, and this is not what I think of when I think of fisheye, and it only lets you just basically zoom in and stuff. It's like I need something between this and bulge to actually give me what I think of as fisheye effect when I look at it, because it'd be nice when I go to do this that it wouldn't be just zooming in myself. I don't know if I was to if it was to scale this down, that ain't gonna do nothing. So I don't really see much use for it myself personally. I can't think of anything that I would want to use that one for. Now ripple will be a good thing. You can sit here and it gives you that water effect, and you also can do the reverse of it. So let's start here. If I come over here, hit play on the ripple, it's look like it's kind of going out. But if I come back over here and I hit reverse, it'll look like it's rippling back in, like if something's being sucked down. I have not tried the stretch. Okay, that's a very interesting thing. What if we do stretch reverse? Okay. It kind of will give you some of that cool feature. Of course, you can change the center if you want to, the horizontal and then the vertical. And of course, you got your speed and the intensity of the ripples, so you really can make it look like it's out of this world sci-fi appearance. And of course, the frequency, like how many. Now that's starting to look a little bit more like water. Didn't mean to. So almost like that'd be something you could have playing at the speed it's going at when you got music going. Kind of interesting. Let's see, on to the next one. Let's see, the shake. This is the one you can probably see me do in the opening. Is the shake. Shake, rattle, and roll. Shake, rattle, and roll. So, and of course, we can change the intensity. You can do some of the rotation and the frequency. So, boom. Oh, looks like I'm really in an earthquake. Okay, well, let's move on to the next one. Let's see, we're going down the sphere. I know I'm not talking about that sci-fi thriller one. Now this has that fisheye look again, but I can kind of change some of the stuff a little bit. And this is really, like I said, this feels more like the fisheye than the actual fisheye. And so you can tile it. I don't have to tile it. And see, that really gives that fisheye feel there. Change the center. Oh, it looks like it's rotating around. That would be an interesting That would be a very interesting transition you can make. You can start there and just let it center on in. Now, to get it go from that to how you can to how you can get it. That's a little bit more of a. Now that'd be good if you do. Now this actually would be good if you're doing TV, like you've got a TV effect, like I do in the background, but like one of the old CRTs. But I don't know. I'll say high tile, high edges. I don't see what the hidden edges does. Tile. But like I said, that'd be cool. And if you get that to bloom out, I might have to look and see what other effects I could combine where it'll kind of stretch back out. Um, oh yeah, that might can do. So if I do a combination of that and the scale, that might actually work. Boy, I discovered an idea while doing this tutorial. Don't you just love it when you do things like that? Okay, whoops. Let's get you back to normal. You're actually 100 is your normal scaling. Let's see this there. Swirl. Now, you've seen this before when I was doing, was it Nest? No, it wasn't Nest. I think it was when I was doing keyframing, the swirl. And it just depends upon what radius you go. And the angle. Ooh, ooh. I'm really, reminds me of, not necessarily Alfred Hitchcock. I'm trying to think of like a Saul Bass. He was a graphic designer that worked on some movies like Psycho and Vertical and stuff. And so that kind of reminds me of something like you might see. And I don't know why it's making me think of those movies. I never watched them. It might be just from my time in doing graphic design in college. And of course, tile. This is where you really can get the real feel like multiple TVs syndrome going on here. And so yeah, you can do it like if you want just like 4. Kind of like I did the gridding a while back. But this is just everything being the same. Matter of fact, probably best to see this definitely with the outro too. Unlink. I probably should have just left my outro here and just, let's see, copy, and close that off, and then paste. There we go. That way that way you can kind of see a little bit about what's going on here. So, of course, you can do the mirrors, and then that mirror. So now you can really get the feel. And if it was to be screen accurate, it would be something around here. So that way, yay, there you go. Now you got 4 of me dancing in a complete infinity mirror type setting. Scale on down, you can really get it into. And now we can have like that episode of Rick and Morty where they have like all sorts of multiple timeline going on at one time. Okay. I'm just gonna, let's see, this, I think that's what, yeah, disable. I don't want to do that for right now. Go ahead and delete that. We'll get back over here, delete this one as well. Move my little guide along. I don't know what they call it. So, of course, transform we already covered. That was the first one. And then your wave. The wave itself really don't do much. It's kind of like the ripple, but the only thing I can really see it is like if I was to start down here. Let's get that down here. I do this keyframe. I come down here, and I just intensify create the frequency and intensify it some. Well, the intensifying ain't going to help unless I just do the. Let's go and do all the keyframes there, and that way when I adjust these and this is the only time I can see how you can do it if you have to use the keyframes with this one. And that's the reason why I really didn't want that there, because it's going to keep playing further off. And then of course you can change it to the vertical, so we can do the same thing. Woo! And that's pretty much it for most of the let me get myself back to where I'm normally supposed to be. And if you like my content, please hit like and subscribe. It helps support the channel. And if you want to expand the use of these effects, I recommend checking out my olive tutorial on keyframing. As we've seen here, combining keyframing with the effects will expand their use and capability. Other than that, have a nice day.